Hello and welcome to today's video. This is a complete travel guide to the south of Lombok Island in Indonesia. I'm going to tell you exactly how to get to Lombok, how much it costs, what to do, the best beaches, how much food and coffee and drinks cost so that you can properly plan and budget your trip to Lombok. As always, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel to see more, and let us know in the comments what you think. Lombok is an island in Indonesia situated to the east of the very popular tourist destination of Bali. It's actually located closer to the Gili Islands than to Bali. However, you can get to Lombok from Bali either flying from Denpasar Airport or catching a ferry over, stopping at the Gili Islands along the way. Lombok is like your less developed cousin of Bali. It has less tourism, it's less busy, but it still has Western style restaurants, villas, beach clubs, and things like that. It's definitely a quieter island than Bali. However, it's very famous for its surfing, which we just absolutely love the surfing here. So if you are a surfer, a snorkeler, an ocean lover, someone who wants a holiday that's a little bit quieter than Bali, then Lombok is definitely your spot. Now, to get to Lombok, you have a couple of options. Lombok does have an international airport called Praia International Airport, and this is located only 30 minutes from the place that most people choose to stay when they come to Lombok, and that is Kuta, Lombok. Very different than Kuta in Bali, don't worry. So you can fly from Denpasar Airport in Bali to Praia Airport in Lombok. The flight is about 1 hour long, and there are multiple flights going per day. The flight is going to set you back about $65 US. This is without baggage, just with a backpack or a carry-on. However, to add baggage to your flight was only about $13 US each way. You'll then need to take a taxi from Praia Airport to Kuta and Lombok, which is going to take you again about 30 minutes and should cost you about $10 US or about 150,000 Indonesian rupees. So the total for flying from Denpasar Airport, including the flight and including the taxi, is about $75 US, a little bit more if you have to add your baggage. I recently flew from Denpasar to Praia. It was a super quick flight. It was actually a really beautiful flight, and I definitely recommend this option over the next option that I'm going to tell you, which is the ferry option. We took this option a couple of months ago when we were in Lombok, and coming from Bali to Lombok was okay, but returning from Lombok to Bali was awful. Our boat was overcrowded. The air conditioning was not working. It was super hot. It took an extra couple of hours to get there. A lot of us were seasick the whole time. The waves were so big, and our luggage got completely soaked. So all of my clothes in my suitcase were wet. So the ferry is a slightly cheaper option. However, it does take pretty much all day, and just keep in mind, if you do get seasick, this is definitely not the option for you. Now, to catch the ferry, you will first get a shuttle from your hotel to the port in Bali, and then you will catch the ferry and end up in the port in Lombok. The cost for this is about $32 US. However, the port in Lombok is more to the north of Lombok rather than the south where the airport is. So you will then need to catch a taxi, which will take you between 2 and 3 hours from the port to the south of Lombok to Kuta. The cost of this depends on how good you are at negotiating. Ours cost us 250,000 Indonesian rupees. A more standard price is 300 to 350,000 Indonesian rupees, and this equals about $20 US. So to bring the total price for the ferry from your hotel to the port in Lombok to your hotel in Kuta to about $52 US. You will have to catch the ferry at about 9 a.m. in Bali, and you will arrive to Kuta in about 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Definitely pack some snacks as well and some water to drink because it is a long journey. It's a little bit more budget friendly though. Now, to get around Lombok, you are probably going to need a scooter. There is no Gojek, there is no Grab like in Bali. There are not really taxis. You can walk around town if your accommodation is very central. However, you are very limited because the beaches are about a 30-minute scooter ride away. But don't worry if you are really stressed out about riding a scooter in Bali. It is totally different in Lombok. I personally would never drive a scooter in Bali. It would be dangerous to myself and everyone else. However, I felt very comfortable, probably too comfortable a couple of times, scooting around the island on my own. A scooter rental costs you about 60,000 to 70,000 Indonesian rupees per day. If you are renting the scooter for longer, like 7 days or more, the price will go a little bit lower to 60,000 Indonesian rupees a day. This includes helmets, but it does not include insurance. But honestly, you don't need scooter insurance. Don't say I told you that. This equates to about $4 US a day, super cheap. Gas here, or petrol, is also very cheap. It's about 12,000 Indonesian rupees for, I think it's 750 ml. It's like an absolute vodka bottle full of petrol. So 12,000 Indonesian rupees is less than $1 US. I think total, I've been here a week and I have probably spent less than 100,000 Indonesian rupees on petrol, which is less than $7 US. There are no gas stations here in Lombok. You will have to buy your gas from the side of the road. You'll see these little stands with all of these little petrol bottles, and you just pull over, fill up, and pay cash. There is pretty much no traffic in Lombok. The only traffic is sometimes chickens or buffalo or cows or stray dogs, so don't worry about getting around. The roads are also really nice. Sometimes. Most of them are paved. You will be taking the highway if you're going to Tanjung, so you can definitely get around easily if you're not super comfortable on a scooter like me. Now, for accommodation, as with everywhere, there's a bit of a spectrum. You can get places for really cheap. You can get bungalows. You can get private villas with pools or fancy hotels. So your options in Kuta, Lombok are basically homestays, which are your cheapest option. I'm staying in one right now, and this one costs 150,000 Indonesian rupees per night, which is about $10 US. Super cheap. Homestays often do not include a pool, though. Your next option up is like a private bungalow. There's a lot of hotels and accommodations that offer private bungalows. Some of our favorites are Palm Green Hotel and Dream Co-working Hotel that we've stayed at. Both of these places have a pool, a central pool, and some of the bungalows will also include breakfast. Palm Green includes breakfast as well. So if your accommodation has free breakfast, that'll save you some money as well. These private bungalows generally go for about 350,000 to 500,000 Indonesian rupees per night, which is about 20 to 30 US dollars per night, which is still super affordable. They usually include air conditioning and a nice little outdoor bathroom too. You can also stay in slightly more expensive accommodation, like having your own private villa with multiple bedrooms and a private pool, and that's obviously going to be a little bit more expensive. You could be spending about 100 US dollars per night if you wanted something a little bit fancier. We definitely recommend finding an accommodation that has air conditioning. Stefano isn't even super pro air conditioning, but air conditioning is a must in Lombok because it is just so warm here. So making sure that your villa or your bungalow that you book has air conditioning. Also check if it has a pool. Having a pool is really nice, and check for free breakfast too. For cafes and restaurants, we have a whole nother video up here on our favorite cafes and restaurants around Lombok. It's super affordable to eat out here. There's quite a variety of options. You could be here for a couple of weeks and have enough options to go to. There are both Western style restaurants as well as local restaurants called warongs, which are usually about half the price of the Western style restaurants. You will be able to get your soy lattes, your iced soy matchas, your gluten-free banana bread, all of that stuff here in Lombok. There are a lot of very healthy cafes and restaurants, vegan and vegetarian ones. And you will also be able to find your beautiful local food like gado-gado, nasi goreng, mee goreng. You can get like a whole fish. You can choose your fish and they'll put it on the barbecue for you and cook the whole thing for you. So a lot of good food in Lombok. A local warong meal will cost you about 35,000 to 50,000 Indonesian rupees, which is about $2 to $3.50 US. You can also get a nice juice or a coconut for about 15,000 to 20,000 Indonesian rupees, which is less than $1 US. For cocktails and drinks, there's honestly not a big nightlife scene in Lombok. So if you're coming here to party, this is the wrong place for you. However, you can get some drinks around town and there are bars. The cheapest cocktails and drinks that you can get during happy hour are about 50,000 Indonesian rupees, which is about $3.50 US. However, if it's not happy hour, you're looking at more like 150,000 Indonesian rupees, which is a little bit under 10 US dollars. Now for our favorite thing, coffee, a latte with soy milk, iced or hot or a cold brew is going to cost you about 45,000 Indonesian rupees wherever you go in town, and this is about 3 US dollars. A meal at a Western-style restaurant in town will be slightly more expensive than your local warung meal. This will cost you about 75,000 to 100,000 Indonesian rupees, which is about $5 to $6.50 US, still super affordable. Now, surfing. You can rent surfboards from right on the beach, either at Jerapuk or Tangjan-on. And to go to some of the surf spots, there are a lot of surf spots, but to go to most of them, you will need to take a boat from the beach to the break and then take the boat back. For example, at Tangjan-on, which is our favorite beach to surf, if you were to paddle out, it's about 800 meters. So no thank you to that. We take the boat every time. And to rent the surfboard plus take the boat round trip for one person is 100,000 Indonesian rupees. It's pretty standard wherever you go. And that is less than $8 US and totally worth it, in my opinion. Now, what to do when you get to the south of Lombok? You can hang out in cafes and restaurants and bars all day. Lombok is like this energy vortex where you come thinking you're going to chill and do nothing, but you end up just absolutely filling your days. It's so weird. So you can hang out by the pool, you can stay in town and go to cafes and restaurants. There's a little bit of shopping you could do as well. Otherwise, there are a lot of beaches in the area. We made a separate video with all of our favorite beaches in Lombok. We spent 2 weeks here and we went to pretty much all the beaches around. So we will link that video above as well for you to check out. But the #1 most popular beach is Tangjan-on. I go to this beach pretty much every day. You can go in the morning and have a coffee or go for a surf. You could go in the middle of the day and tan. You can go in the afternoon and have a cocktail or a coconut water and watch the sunset. There's really always people there. There's a lot of warangs along the beach. You just pick whichever one you want to go hang out at. They'll let you hang out in their day beds. A lot of them have swings on the sand as well. The sand is super white and the ocean is crystal clear. It's absolutely stunning. I think it's my favorite beach in the whole entire world. Our favorite warangs are Warang Sunshine. We like to rent surfboards here. We also like Pink Swing. DD Warang is also another good warang to rent surfboards from. And you can eat at any of those warangs as well. However, there are many other warangs on the beach. But if you're going surfing, you'll want to rent a board from a warang in the middle to the top of the beach because that's kind of more where the surf break is. There are lots of other beaches around that you could scooter to. They're all about a 30-minute scooter ride, give or take, from Central Kuta, so you can make a day trip to those. We really love visiting Pink Beach. I think that's an absolutely must-do, and we talk about that in our separate beach video as well. If you love snorkeling, you can check out the local Gili Islands, not just the famous Gili Islands, but what they call the secret Gili Islands. They're smaller Gili Islands. You can take day snorkeling trips from there, and you can book tours from right in town in Kuta. There's lots of little stands that'll take you on tours. We also recommend watching sunset a couple of times while you're here. You can watch the sunset from Tangjan-on Beach, but it's best to go to the cliffs next to Tangjan-on. You do have to pay to enter that area, although it is super cheap. It's just a couple of US dollars. Just keep in mind that you do have to pay to go to most beaches in Lombok per person, but it is, again, only a couple of US dollars. Tangjan-on you do not have to pay for. I don't know why, maybe because there's warangs and things like that on the beach. Other things that you can do in Lombok are go to a yoga class, a meditation class, do cacao ceremonies, breath work, and sound healing. We really like Mana Yoga Retreat. I actually just stayed there and did yoga every day, and it was absolutely stunning. Ashtari is also another very famous place to do yoga, and there is a couple of more as well in town. So if you're really into your health and wellness, you can have a whole little DIY yoga retreat coming to Kuta as well. Now, why we love the South of Lombok is because, first of all, the surf is amazing. The beaches are beautiful. The beaches are more white sand beaches than Bali. The water is very blue. It's sometimes you think, oh, I could be at the Maldives. I don't know. I've never been to the Maldives, but I feel like this is like a nice budget-friendly Maldives. We love that you can just scooter around and stop at various places, go out to eat, meet friends. Like, there's just so much to do here that your days become filled. However, as I said before, there's not much happening at night, so you're probably going to get an early night and then get up early to go for a surf. That's all for today's video. As always, let us know in the comments what you think. Again, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel to see more. We have a few more Lombok videos because we absolutely love it. So check out those if this is a destination you're looking into. As always, if you have any questions or anything, let us know in the comments, and we will see you next time.